Hey, what's up everybody? This video is going to be an introduction to UFS, the Universal Fighting System, and I'm basically going to explain why this game is so good and pretty much why it's the best game I've ever played. So, UFS is a collectible card game that originated in 2006, and Jasco Games bought UFS in 2010, and the game has been the best it has been since then. And it really is the best game that I've ever played. So let's jump right in. Mega Man is a really big license that is in UFS, and here are just a couple characters that you can play as, Mega Man and Proto Man. And there's also Elecman, Gutsman, Iceman, Fireman, Cutman, and Bombman. The Robot Masters, if you played the Nintendo Mega Mans, you'll probably recognize these guys. So that's Mega Man. There are more characters coming out, but those are just a few of them. The next one is Darkstalkers, which is another Capcom license, and this was a really fun fighting game. There's Morgan and Lilith. If you guys have ever played Marvel vs. Capcom, they are both in there. We also have Donovan, Anakaris, Huitzel. Then there's QB, Victor. There's another one too, Sasquatch. He's in the game too. And like I said, Darkstalkers was a really fun fighting game, and the fact that it's in UFS is really awesome. The next one I want to show you guys is King of Fighters. So there's Terry, Andy, and Joe. You guys, if you've ever seen the anime Fatal Fury, all three of these guys are in there, and there's also Mai Shiranui. She's like a very popular King of Fighters / Fatal Fury character. So they're in the game too, which is really cool. Then there's also Iori, Kyo, and here's Leona as well. I have Leona in here because she has an 8 hand size, and if you've noticed, every character has a certain hand size and health. The health is like the life meter. You win the game by playing attacks and reducing your opponent's health down to 0, just like a fighting game. The hand size is how many cards you start your turn with, and she is one of the only characters who has an 8 hand size, so she gets to begin each one of her turns with 8 cards in her hand. But she has 17 life, as opposed to a 6 hand size who has, for example, 28 life. So that's like the balance in the game, and it makes it really fun. The next license is Red Horizon, and this is an intellectual property, and it's actually really cool, and it fits well with UFS. I'm going to start off with these two, the Angels, Alahara and Sarith. These two fuse together and create this super powerful angel that works with these two. So it's actually really cool that there's a mechanic in the game where you can like start with this character, attach this one, and then you play the card that lets you fuse into this one, and then he allows you to bring these back under him. So that's a really cool mechanic that's exclusive to these characters, and it works really well, and it's just a really fun mechanic. There's also Vincent Gray, who is the President of the United States in the world of Red Horizon, and his bodyguards or assistants are Kaden and Eva. And basically he's on like a war path, and these are his assistants that he uses to get what he wants. It's actually pretty cool, and just the license in general it's really awesome because it's like its own fighting game, and it would be cool if one of these days Red Horizon actually turns into like a fighting game that you can play on a console. There's also Natalia and Vespera. They're basically like sisters, and they each have their own unique stories and abilities on them. They're both really good in the game too. There's also Reese and Lily. They have a thing going on. Like, he likes her, but she doesn't know it, and he's a millionaire. It's pretty funny. And these characters are also really good too. Like, everybody in this game is really good, so if you hear me say this character is really good, just I don't know, I get carried away sometimes because this game is just so awesome. There's so many playable things in the game, and that's what just makes it awesome, because there are so many characters that are playable, and it just makes it so wide open. So some previous licenses that have been in UFS, there's been Street Fighter. There's have Chun-Li, Zangief, Vega, and Sagat, and Guile. These are just a few of the characters. There's many more, but for time purposes, I'll just show the most popular ones, I guess. There's also Ryu, Ken, and Akuma. These are my favorite ones. Yeah, they look really awesome. Okay, another license that has been in UFS is Soul Calibur. And I have a couple characters here. Maxi, Siegfried, Solfidia, I have Ivy, Yoshimitsu, and Kilik. And again, those are just a few of the many. Tekken was another license that was in UFS, and I have 5 characters here. Brian Fury, Kazuya, Hayachi, Steve Fox, and Nina. And all these characters were really good as well. Just so many options when playing this game because it's so wide open, because there's so many characters who are just absolutely amazing. Samurai Showdown was another license that was in UFS, and have a couple characters here. Hawamaru, Yoshitora, there's Nakaruru, and then there's Hanzo. Hanzo's in a lot of games because his story kind of fits well with anything, so it's pretty cool that he is in UFS as well. Then there's also Galford, who kind of looks like Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And there was a big joke back in the day when he was released, like, hey, it'd be really cool if UFS got a Final Fantasy license. And it's like, hey, if you want to play Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, just play Galford. It was pretty cool. Penny Arcade was actually the first license that was in UFS. I have Gabe, Boy Wonder, and there's also Tycho, Evil Genius, which I don't have one, but I can put him up on the screen. But that was like one of my favorite characters to play when the game got released in 2006. Shadow War is another license that was in UFS. It is an intellectual property from Fantasy Flight Games, and I just have 3 characters here, but each of these characters had their own story, and it was actually a really cool set because a lot of cards in the set were really good. But that's the thing about UFS, is that all the cards in general are really good. They all have a purpose. One of the cool things about UFS is that you can mix and match the licenses when you're building your deck. So what that means is that, say you want to start with a Mega Man character, you can play Darkstalkers cards in your deck, or Red Horizon cards in your deck. And another example, say you want to start as a Street Fighter character, you can play Soul Calibur cards in your deck, or you can play Samurai Showdown cards in your deck. You can just mix all the cards together, and that's what makes the game really fun, because there are so many abilities at your disposal that you can use, because there are so many sets and so many abilities. It's just one of the best things about UFS. So one of the best things about the Jasco Games era of UFS is that nearly everything is playable. There are so many characters who are viable, and pretty much every card you pull out of a booster pack is useful. I always feel like I'm getting full value when buying a booster pack, because I know that all of the cards in that pack will have a purpose. So yeah, pretty much everything in the game is really good. There's so many options a player has when choosing a character and building a deck. I have so many decks in this game, and I guess I'll just slide them around and show you. I have Mature from King of Fighters. She's a really good deck. And then we have Sasquatch from Darkstalkers. He's another really, really good deck. I also have Kim from King of Fighters. Another really good deck. I also have Ralph from King of Fighters. He is a really fun deck, especially for beginning players. I kind of want to do a deck profile of that sometime. I have Eva built from Red Horizon. Then along with Eva, I have Vincent Gray. This is my go-to tournament deck, I would say. All of these decks are capable of winning a tournament, but I really like him because he's just really consistent, and I like how he plays. There's also Iceman. This is a really fun deck to play, and he's really good, and he's really fun. Another deck that I play is Huitzel from Darkstalkers. And then I also have Joe Hill. There is Phil Birch. And then Jack Lamborn. You may not recognize any of these characters from any fighting games, and that is because these are actually real people. One of the biggest attractions to the competitive UFS scene is that if you win nationals or worlds, you get to create your own card that is 100% tournament legal. If you win singles, you get to create your own character card. If you win teams, you get to create your own asset card. And this is what I get to be on, because I won Team Worlds 2014. So I get to be on one of these asset cards. We still have to find an artist and design our abilities, but eventually it'll come out. There are some more champion cards I'd like to show you. There's Ben Shoemaker, Tim Keefe, Keenan Meadows, and Garrett Brett. There are many more, but these are just a handful that I have on me. So another thing to note is that when designing a champion card, it has to go through the playtesting team. So you obviously cannot create something ridiculously broken. Everyone wants their card to be playable, so champions generally shoot for above average effects or sneakily good abilities. But yeah, champion cards are a really cool prize from UFS, and it's just really crazy how you can be immortalized in a game where players will play a card that has your face on it. It's a great way to make your mark in the game. One of the best things about the gameplay of UFS is how players have the ability to control the luck factors. This means that it ends up becoming a game that is absolutely a test of skill. There are quite a few repeat champions, meaning that there are some players who are on more than one champion card. Like, there's Paul Bittner. Paul Bittner, his first character card, and then his second character card. He won Worlds 2009 and Worlds 2012. Then there's also, I showed you guys Phil Birch, this guy. He has his own character, and he's on an asset, because he won teams. Like you can see here, Birch, like the character select screen, that was their art that they chose. So, he has 2 cards. And then I also showed you that Garrett Brett, he's on a bunch of cards. He has like 3 or 4 that have yet to come out. But regardless of player skill, the game remains a total blast to play. It is really representative of a back and forth fighting game. This was just an introduction video, sort of touching on why UFS is so great and so awesome. My next video, or series of videos, will be how to play UFS, and I will hopefully have those videos up soon. In the meantime, if you are really interested in UFS, I'm going to include some links in the description. There is already a really good how to play video on the Jasco Games YouTube page. I will definitely link that for you. And I will also include a fair number of links on where to buy UFS. The best things to get right now are the Mega Man and Darkstalkers tins. They are all designed really well, and you definitely get a lot of value out of them. And if you have any further questions about UFS, you can hit me up on Kick. My username is Shaneth21, same as my YouTube channel name, and I would be happy to answer any questions about UFS. This game is just... it really is my one true love in life right now. I don't even really consider it a game. Like, I see so much more than just a game whenever I'm playing UFS. So, as always, I would like to thank you all for watching my video. Leave a comment if you wish. I read all of them, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.